before the apocalypse comes, it might be a good idea to seek out getting a hold of a Yamaha Tenere 700. But there's one major problem. It's impossible to get a Yamaha Tenere 700 without having to get on a wait list for 1 to 2 years. That's how in demand this bike is at Yamaha dealerships around the world, and yet the only thing you can do to get one quicker is ignore what all the dealerships are saying and spend the next 5 minutes hearing me out. It's Watts here, and I'm going to guide you all the way to victory. So without regrets, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and then talk to your significant other into getting a tattoo that says Wild West Motorplex for life. And let's get into the extraordinary guide to securing a Tenere 700 as quick as humanly possible. We're not kidding. If you have a Yamaha Tenere 700, you are a legend among legends. And yes, most of us are jealous of your ability to pull the trigger. Way to go. For all the rest of us, and don't worry my Yamaha 700 list friends, I am one of you, as I too want that motorcycle for my collection. And I can't get one even despite being inside the motorcycle industry. I know, I can hear some of you saying, so Watts, I don't get it. What's the problem exactly with the Tenere 700s? Well, I'm glad you asked. What a simptastic question. The issue is, Yamaha is not producing what they have been able to produce since the onset of COVID-19 in the world. This stupid plague on all things awesome continues to haunt us all, whether you're vaccinated or not. So let's get into my tips for securing a Yamaha Tenere 700 faster than the person next to you. Yeah, this person is ahead of you on the Yamaha Tenere 700 list. And yes, they are already joined up with an apocalyptic cult as well. So what are you going to do about it? The entire world cannot get motorcycles from the top brands in the world, and it's a global problem. From China to Australia to Brazil, we all need more motorcycles. But we're all limited. We are limited to the point that we are not even taking pre-orders anymore on certain motorcycle units because we don't know when we're going to get the next one. This means it could be 2 months or 3 years. This is absolutely the case with the Tenere 700, the unicorn of mass-produced motorcycles. Let's get into 5 tips that may help you secure a Tenere 700 faster than the person next to you. Tip 1. Leave your Karens at home. Don't let them into the power sports dealership at all. We in the industry are actually fun people who are mostly low-key. We're in power sports because we either inherited the job, ex-racers that had to get a real job because of kids or injury, or we actually just didn't want to get a real job. And bringing a Karen into this environment is just a bad idea. Observe this Karen in her natural habitat. It's in restaurants, grocery store parking lots, airports, places she can scream, without being arrested or tased. And traditionally, a motorcycle shop is a place where you can be shot, tased, or even worse. We don't have time for Karens, and there is an unwritten no Karen policy in all powersport dealerships in the country except for the Mancuso dealership network in Texas. They apparently love Karens. Tip 2. Don't haggle over the price. Listen, the MSRP of a Tenere 700 base model is around $10,000, $99.99. Freight has gone through the roof in the last 6 months. The prep fee is assigned by the dealership to dealership basis, and you actually have an opportunity to pick up a Tenere 700. Don't haggle. There's no point. If you haggle, they will skip you and move on to the next person. They won't even think about you again. The tip here is to call the guy ahead of you and convince him to try to haggle the price of his Tenere 700. That's the move to move up on the list. Is it honest? No. Is it kind? But it's one surefire way to get higher on the list, which means you're going to get a Tenere quicker. Folks, you need to be a Chad to get a Tenere 700, and you need to be lucky at that. Tip 3. A big down payment / deposit. Another way to get your Tenere 700 quicker. Put a large deposit on the bike at your favorite Yamaha licensed dealership, and then incentivize your sales professional to get you the bike first. You don't always have to do the work if you can get the person that's doing the work to work for you. Again, I hear salespeople like incentives. I don't know. But if you get the salesperson on your side, they will go to war for you. All good salespeople are really just mercenaries for hire, and if you let them do what they do, it's almost worth paying for it. Again, money talks, so let it flow, and you highly increase your chance of securing the Tenere 700. Tip 4. Convince the dealership they need an in-store duel. Listen, power sports dealerships are always looking for events. So you as a customer, if you suggest an event, it goes really far. It'll go up the chain quickly. Challenge the others on the deposit list to a duel where the winner gets the top position on the list. If they don't accept, you slap them like Will Smith at the Oscars. This will also show your local dealership that you are worthy, and for the dealerships that respect overly aggressive customers, that will most likely get you to the top of the list. Of course, if it doesn't work, someone might tase you, shoot you, or call the police on you, and not necessarily in that order. Yes, even motorcycle shops have guns, cameras, and many of us are dead shots. But you have to ask yourself how bad you actually want a Tenere 700. A real man, woman, or bird person, whatever you want to be called, will know exactly what they have to do to score the perfect mid-weight adventure bike. Look at that thing. Woo! You could be riding that bike right now, but you ain't. And if you're watching this far into the video, it's time for you to get more alpha. And then before you know it, you will be riding a Tenere 700, kicking all the KLR 650 riders in the face as you ride by like the destructive little hellion you are, stealing both their wine and women. After all, we all know you're just really prepping for Armageddon. And tip 5, practice type. Now, if you don't want to duel to the death, bribe your salesperson, or put a huge down payment, I suggest this. Look for a Yamaha dealership within 100 miles of where you live that are in smaller towns, and then call them. Ask them, do you have a deposit on a Tenere 700 yet? And how many people are on the list? If you're at 1 person or 0 people on the deposit list, that is the dealership you should be putting your deposit down with. That is the absolute best advice we can give you to get to the top of the list and get a Yamaha Tenere 700 quicker than probably everybody else in your major city. Find a small town, get on their list, don't haggle, go get your bike. If you're in Texas and can wait, we can take a deposit to get you on the list for your next motorcycle. We're experts in power sports. Most of us are called lifers, and we are ready to serve you. Our phone number is 281-392-8852. You can call or text us. Visit us online at wildwestmotoplex.com. On behalf of the dealership, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Watts, and we'll see you next time.
My teacher's a Karen, and we know somebody who's a Karen.
Your teacher's a Karen? Why is your teacher a Karen?
I don't know. That's her name.
Have you ever heard anybody called a Karen?
So when we were at a baseball game, this girl on the other team called my mom a Karen.
Why?
Because she was, screaming.
What do you think Karens like to eat?
I would just say mostly ramen.
Why do Karens like ramen so much?
They just look like someone that would eat ramen a lot.